Bonjour, bienvenue, and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. A big hello from Morzine in the French Alps. I have just climbed up to the Lac des Mines d'Or, Eddie, and I'm now on my way up to the Col de Cou. It's a beautiful day here in the Alps, which makes a change because it's been fairly pants weather the last few days. So everyone, do up your laces. Make sure you've got your snack of choice and get out of the door with our favourite podcast. Here are our hosts, Eddie Sutton and Gary Thwaites.
Hello and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast, and thanks Jessica all the way from Morzine. Eddie, do you check them when they come into the inbox? Because I copy and paste them somewhere else. Do you check the intros before they go on the podcast?
Gosh, I save it for the podcast.
Ah, well, you can hear the cowbells on this intro. It added some atmosphere, and I thought Jessica said smack of choice, not smack.
Oh,
that's a wrong podcast. But yeah, please keep those intros coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com. Kudos, high five and big hugs to all our patrons and everybody who's joined Patreon over the last week. For the price of a cuppa, you can help keep the lights hot and the mics on and save big time on all your trail running essentials. Loads of brands offering great discounts over on Patreon. And don't forget, if you would like a snood or a bobble hat, then you need to add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies. Also, join Patreon for a year and you will save 10% on your membership. And if you join the Legend tier or above, we will send you a bobble hat too. I've sent them all out. Everybody who is owed a bobble hat or a snood, they are now
You went to
winging.
Mrs. Goggins at the post office. How long did that take you?
Oh my goodness me.
Oh, Gary.
When I went in the post office, I could just see him groan because he knew. It was quiet. There was nobody in there. I was stressed. He was stressed. I did an international delivery, which triggered him. Then I bought 100 second-class large stamps. He only gave me 50 in his stressness. I went off, realised he'd understamped me, had to go back, relied on the fact, even though I just thought there's no point in going back because there's a big sign saying, check your change, check everything. Once you've left the shop, no refunds.
Oh, no.
So that's like, these are £1.55 a stamp, Eddie. I was really stressed. Luckily.
Was it Eddie the accountant going to say when you checked spreadsheet? He was all right. He was all right.
He was okay. Everything is gone. Everything is winging its way. But yeah, now the stock levels are low. So I need to order some more snoods and some more bobble hats. I imagine soon the bobble hat orders are going to come in thick and fast.
Autumn is here. Autumn is here.
Officially,
autumn is here and the leaves are down.
I love BBC Breakfast because when it's officially autumn, this is when they launch the names of all the potential storms that are going to come next year. I saw Storm Eddie on the list.
Stop it! Storm Eddie, when we're doing Northern Traverse, that would be brilliant.
Oh my goodness me. Hopefully it doesn't get as far as E.
I really hope it does. I want you to have the full experience.
There was a Storm Dave on there as well. Dave!
Oh, that was an absolute cracker.
I just thought it was like meteorologists having a kind of chat over a brew. No, people write in with stories behind why the storm should be named the name that they're going to suggest.
Some people have a lot of time.
But I wonder what the story is behind Storm Eddie. I wonder if Bryn's been sending letters into the Met Office.
Dad's been sending that in. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. X Miles is a family-owned independent endurance sport retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help us athletes perform and recover at our best. X Miles offers a wide range of products. Leading brands and their team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or you're just getting started and you think, what the hell are these gels? When do I take them and why do they taste so good? You can find everything you need and you get 10% store credit over at www.xmiles.co.uk. Link is in the show notes.
I got some new gels from X Miles, actually. Sent me a couple of active root gels. One was apple.
I knew you were their favourite. I knew it.
Yeah, they only said 2 out. Apologies.
Knew it. Do you think one of those was for Eddie, one for Gary? And you were like,
I didn't cross my mind. But I tested them out on Saturday, so we did a bit of a leg 2 Bob going round recce on Saturday. So yeah, just before Cloughhead, slurp the apple one down, and then filthy, oh my goodness me, anybody who knows the Lake District and knows Fairfield. Fairfield's like Skidder, just seems to cling on to all the shitty weather.
What's in the active root? Have you got the ingredients of what's in there?
What's this little thing here? Oh my goodness, my eyes cannot see that. Brown rice syrup, something else syrup, tapioca syrup, apple juice, something concentrate, ginger root extract. All things that kind of sound, well, they wouldn't be in my kitchen cupboard, but they weren't not kind of crazy ingredients. But yeah, nice and simple packaging. You got 30 grams of carb.
30 grams of carb, okay. How much calories? About 100?
125, and you get 40 milligrams of sodium per serve.
Slipped down a treat, did it?
It didn't trigger anything. Like I tried the Morton gel the other week, and I'm not too sure if I want to be taking those for 12 hours. We've got Seven Valleys coming up. I was looking at people's finishing time for Seven Valleys. I might be going into the dark again, unfortunately.
It's big.
Well, James Chapman's a lot faster than I am, and I think he was like 12 and a bit hours. So you're going to stick at least another 4 hours on there.
Yeah.
If I'm having a good day.
Yeah, I think if you go 16, 17, prepare for that. And then if it's longer.
Well, this is the interesting. Aaron and I were talking about this. So it's roughly the distance between Coniston and Howtown, Lake 100.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure, I think I got to Howtown about 15 hours, and the elevation is the same too.
Okay. But I think the terrain is slightly trickier.
The detail doesn't really do it justice because the elevation and distance are pretty similar, but what is underfoot is a bit more technical on Seven Valleys.
1604. That's my prediction.
Sub 16.
Sub 16. 1557. Right. Thank you, Yugoku Projects, for producing our Tea and Trails cat. Pop over to Yugoku Projects if you'd like one. Don't forget, patrons receive 20% off. If you're looking for any of the discount codes, head over to Patreon or teaandtrails.com or check out the show notes. The precision code. We've had some emails about this.
Oh my goodness me, the goddamn robots. I don't know how it happens. Is it robots trawling the net? Or is it people who are Patreons and then they share the codes with mates and then mates share it somewhere else? I don't know how it happens. Anyway, the old code is being deleted by Precision because it ended up on a discount code website. They put a new code up there. I've tried it out and it works.
I've never found a discount code website.
I've found this, I've kind of typed in whatever Adidas Terex, 50% off, whatever it is. And the codes have been there. But they've never actually, I don't think I've ever found one that works.
Okay. Well, sorry to Precision Fuel and Hydration for leaking your code. Let's start with you, Gara. Let's start with you. I read a couple of reviews of our podcast saying that new listeners tune in and they go, what the hell's going on? Who are these people chatting? Because we just start chatting like I've just rang you up while we're doing the dishes and we just start chatting. So if you're new and you're listening, just go with it. People say it takes us a couple of episodes to get into it.
Can't do a bio every week, can we? Imagine that. Every week. You know what I heard on my dog walk this morning? A little insight into the relationship between this woman and her dog. It's a bit barky when it goes past Rex, but it's fine. And Rex is unusually out of character. He's fine with this dog. She said to her dog, "You grumpy little witch." I thought, wow, that is that's quite nasty. I'd kind of come on, Rex.
Yeah.
But grumpy little witch. There's lots of baggage with that relationship.
Did she actually say witch or did she say a word beginning with B?
I'm pretty sure it was witch, which I think in the context of it, I think was harsher than bitch.
You've sworn twice already on this podcast. People can listen to this. Yeah.
Sorry.
You said the S word a bit earlier on.
Just slips out. I never even realised. A couple of things happened this week.
Oh my God, quick.
Well, so I scheduled the week. The workouts were spicy long run and there's a second long run, but you get an easy Saturday. But like I said, I think in the podcast last week, there was a sniff of a trip to the lakes.
It was happening live as we were recording because I could see your eyes going to the WhatsApp group, lighting up.
I've still got this snivel. So I was sitting there kind of Tuesday, snivelly, with this prospect of a big Saturday and Sunday. So I thought I'd do a switcheroo on the Alban app and then just basically had a heavy weekend. It should have been 2 4-hour runs, but Saturday's run, I think, was nearly 5 hours. So I kind of cut the miles on Sunday just to have the roughly accumulation of 8 hours. The rest of the week was fundamentally just easy runs every day. And that, I thought, oh, this is great, half an hour, 40 minutes every day. But I had to go rogue because those super short runs, they just weren't hitting the spot. I'm just such a greedy runner. But what was interesting, as soon as I strayed off what the almanac was suggesting that I do, Garmin said I'm no longer productive. I don't know if it was just coincidence or whatever, but literally the next day, Garmin wasn't happy. I'm thinking it is just a coincidence.
We don't believe anything Garmin says. But
well, unfortunately, I do probably invest a little bit too much into Garmin.
Way too much into your watch.
But after talking to Charlotte Fisher, and even Jackie mentioned about the stepper, both of them inspired me to do 2 1-hour sessions on the stair stepper. I don't think I've ever been so bored in my life. 1 hour, and I was looking at my treadmill, third in from the right, wistfully as I was on the stair stepper, thinking that I felt like I was cheating on my. Do you do this? Or you don't go to the gym, but I go on the same treadmill every time.
And if
somebody's on it,
you're that guy.
If somebody's on it, that literally messes my whole day up. Although it is really boring, it's still got, over the 2 stair stepper sessions, I got about 6,000 feet of elevation. Luckily, I was watching Vikings. I'm smashing Vikings on Netflix. But then I thought, then on Saturday, when I was huffing and puffing up Clough Head and Fairfield, it was exactly the same as on the stair step. You just kind of head down, half an hour, 40-minute climb, whatever it is. So it is really super specific. If you're doing something like the Bob Graham, even Northern Traverse, when you get in the bottom of, say, Grisdale Town, that long climb up, you just got to get your head down. I imagine even there's other points when you're going up to Kidsley Pike, and even on the Seven Valleys, going up to High Street, big climbs where you've just got to go and suck it up. So I thought, well, even though it is dull, probably will stick with this for the foreseeable future.
I think when you're cross-training, you can push your heart rate up higher because you haven't got the impact. So I think you could probably make that session a bit more exciting. What I always do is I just do a random mixture of numbers. So I choose like 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, or 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And I just push the heart rate up to zone 2, top end of zone 2 for those bits. And then I let it come down with like 2 minutes. I'm just filling time. But then it keeps the heart rate up in zone 2, but it makes mentally you can like carve out an hour.
Well, 1:30 is zone 2 for me. I'm not too sure where exactly.
Is that top end of your zone 2?
I think, it's probably very bottom of zone 3 as I've increased.
Jeez. Yeah. I got 1:30, I'm putting my trainers on. So I think you can afford to go a little bit spicier probably.
So my London Marathon efforts was, I think, 136 beats per minute average. So 130.
Everyone will be like, "Oh my God, Gary's
numbers are very personal, aren't they?
Just like the Garmin algorithm, everybody's different. So that doesn't mean.
So although it's boring, I really see some value in it.
Maybe try some little bits of like mixing it up, because also it will change the rhythm of it as well, just like you would be going up a climb. So it's not all the same.
Something exciting on the horizon, though. I've been invited to Scott Sports Run Experience Tour in Kendal. I get to take a new pair of shoes for a spin. I'll get to meet lots of other runners. There's Pizza too. It's in partnership with Pete Bland Sports. Yeah, it's super exciting.
And what do they want in return, Gary? What are they asking for? Just
this
you?
Heavy influencer.
Your thighs.
This titan of social media. Nothing in return. I'm allowed to share it. I'm not too sure if I'm allowed to share what shoe it is, but I will say I've ran in a version of this shoe for a Lakeland 100. So it's that kind of potential.
The Scott Run Experience Tour. I wonder what experiences you're going to have on this tour. Will there be like people jumping out in like costumes and stuff?
I wonder if Debs is going to be there. She's a Scott athlete. You've got people like Ellis Bland, Joe Meek. Maybe there's going to be some celebs there.
Oh my God, Gary. Keep your hands on the ball.
I thought I might, because going to Kendal, I'm trying to visualize. Kendal, I would go through Kirby Stevens. So I might do a little Northern Traverse.
I knew it. I was like, there's only one reason. He's not going in for the shoes. He's like, I could fit in a run there. I could fit in 2 runs probably.
What to 9 standards and back? What's that like? It's going to be about 20 miles, isn't it? It's quite a big shift.
From Kirby Stevens up. Oh, maybe not quite that far. Yeah, have you done that bit?
So I met you on the other side of that because I ran up from Keld. Is it literally just up, and
it's
then down,
literally
down, down?
you go up Kirby Stevens, up straight uphill all the way to the top.
I've heard 9 standards is horrendous, so I'm not going up there if it's a bad day.
Is that your sort of attitude for the race as well? When I went up there in the race, that's where I lost everything that wasn't attached to my body. There's a glove, there's a cup, and there's my bib number somewhere up there.
Oh, I'll bring them back to you. I'll reunite them. Saturday rolled around. Now, if you were going to do a big day out with mates, you pulled up at the trailhead, you opened the boot, what is not the worst thing that could happen, but what would be quite a stressful situation for you?
No pack. No pack or no trainers.
I don't know if it's the right or the left shoe, but Liam packed 2 right Adidas Terex. I thought it was hilarious. I thought this is going to be great. I'm just going to watch Liam fall over all day long.
Did you put them both on?
No, he ran in his Hoka Cliftons. This was legged. I don't think he tried to put them on, but because we've all got multiple pairs of Adidas Terex.
I have walked up a Monroe in my Cliftons before with the kids. Like, I wear my Cliftons like every day, an everyday shoe, but there is nothing on the bottom. And as we turned to come down, I like looked at my feet and went, "Oh no, this was a terrible." Literally death sliders, basically.
Well, I don't know how he managed it. So yeah, heavy flex to Liam. We set off from Keswick, so we ran up the cycle path up to roughly Threlkeld. He was loving it at that point. And then we started the climb to Clough Head. All of the kind of that fell, the Helvellyn range, and then down Dollywagon's like 45 degrees slope, and it's kind of wet, grassy scree.
I'd have just taken them off.
I fell over more than Liam. I couldn't believe. I don't know how he did it. He did phenomenal. I think that's a reflection on how bad my downhill running is.
You do fall over, like you fall over at a tuft of grass. You're just like, just put my ass on the floor.
Up and down Fairfield, and then up and down Seed Sandals. So I literally had 0 lugs, and these Clifton weren't even new. You know, they've been around the block. I couldn't believe it. I'm not too sure if I would have done it. I would have thought,
oh yeah, you would have. You'd have gone. I'm not going up there in these.
I'm going to do something else instead. But yeah, heavy flex. I listened to Parent and Health podcast. I know it's one of our favourites. And Josh and Rob, they are legit celebrities. I think that's safe to say. I'm pretty much sure most of our listeners might be recognise their face. I might not know who the names are, but they recognise their face. And then they have legit celebrities on that podcast. I was curious, do you think we've got any legit celebrities who listen?
I was just thinking this because I had a little check. I try not to, but I had a little check of the podcast charts. And I was like, is Paula Radcliffe checking the podcast charts? And is she not going, what is this podcast that I'm wrestling with? Like, because we're in there with the titans of podcasts. Surely they've checked us out and gone, are they the people that write the reviews?
I don't think Paula Radcliffe's checking the podcast.
No idea what these two are twittering on about.
Here's up, Paula, slip into our DM. But there's legit, there's people like, I've done a bit of research, my work for the week. So Colin Farrell, he's a legit runner. I've seen him do marathons. Chris Martin, I'm sure he runs. Coldplay Chris Martin. Simon from the In-Betweeners, he ran the Durham East Coast Half Marathon, which is a trail marathon. Simon from the In-Betweeners, his name is Joe Thomas. In-Betweeners was absolutely huge. So he likes the trails. Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kevin Hart. But then there's a guy called Ben Gibbard, who is a musician from Death Cab for Cutie. He did the Western States. So Ben, yeah, if you're listening.
They've got to be trail runners, slightly kooky, maybe. Oh, yeah. No women in that list, Gary.
I just Googled. It was like a runner's world.
You just Googled men, didn't you?
Well, there was women. Apologies, there was women, but I didn't really know who they were. So it was like, it had to be people who I thought...
them. Did you just delete them and go, oh, God, who's that? She should be in the kitchen.
I had to myself think they were celebrities.
He's gone bright red, listeners. He has gone bright red.
Throwing myself under the bus without even realising that. But it'd be interesting if there's anybody out there who is, and it's kind of a bit of a weird situation where they're running along thinking, yeah, I'm a celebrity.
Robbo.
What? Yeah, if there's anyone who's like Tom Cruise, there's no question there. Tom Cruise is legit.
He's definitely legit listening to the waffle that is our podcast.
But if you add everything up for this week,
come on then, what do we look?
Walking, lots of walking still, Rex and I. Stepper, running 80 miles-ish for the week. And the stair stepper is very kind for the vert. Whether it's, I think it's accurate-ish, 18,000 feet. Oh,
yeah, I think that with your Googling shows you need to put a little bit more effort. Let's get up those podcast charts. We need a little bit more effort in the editing and a little bit less pepper.
But we're 3 weeks out, Seven Valleys. And then the album up here gives me a 1 week, like a real sharp taper. So it's 3 weeks carrying on as normal.
I think that's fine though, because of where you are. Like you haven't done a massive training block.
Well, I'm incredible too. Yeah, I can pull it off. What about you? How's your week been?
It was a mix of emotions, Gary. It was back to school in the Sutton household. It was the end of a long solo parenting journey for me. A mix of emotions about going back to school. I think the oldest one just resigned to back to school, back to the grind. Middle one, big change in school, going to big school and a new vibe. But he was super excited. So that sort of helps the back to school transition a little bit.
That would be the most scary time of my childhood, especially moving schools. Oh, my goodness. I remember it now. I used to get a lot of wind when I'm nervous. So I'm just...
Oh, no. You went on, you were the stinky guy, nervous gas. Anybody who went to school with Gary is going to go, I remember that guy as well. And then little Eves, we had a few little wobbles of her. Like, she was super happy last year. And then, do you remember, you probably won't, but other people might, like, you love your teacher. Like, they are when you're at primary school, they're like your everything. Yeah. And then it's a different teacher and things might not be quite the same vibe. You might actually have to do some work. People have changed, new kids are in and monsters. So we had a few wobbles and I wasn't sort of prepared for that because I was sort of like, we had such big changes last year that I was kind of like, we know the score, we know what to do, we got the school shoes, off we go. And I wasn't kind of prepared for like a couple of nights of like quite some emotional children and some super tired children. My God, it's a shock, especially for teenagers who go to bed at like 2:00 in the morning to then have to get up at like 6:30, 7 and then get them out the door and then get back into going to bed at a normal time. I think they need to change school for teenagers so that they can go to bed. Like they come alive. Is George the same? Like 9, 10 o'clock at night? They're ready to chat.
We're going to bed 9 o'clock. George is just getting warmed up.
I just have to go, I'm going to bed now. And then they come upstairs and they want to chat. And I'm like, oh, no.
Back off.
Back off. The Kindle's open. Don't talk to mum. School should start. You take teenagers then from like 8 till 2 in the morning when they'd be in a much happy place. I really feel for them dragging them out of their pits at like 7 o'clock. And I'm like, what do you want for breakfast? Come on, you've got to eat. And oh my God, Mum, I don't normally eat till like 5 p.m. But anyway, so the start of the week was a bit rocky and training had to take as ever, especially when you're by yourself. I have to show up and there was so much to do and sort and remember. And the email, every night I sat down and like, okay, I've got to answer all the emails from that child and then sign all the forms and then do those child and then do all those emails. So I said, I wrote my plan, but I cut myself a bit of grace of like, this probably isn't going to happen as well. The good thing is if I get up early and I get the dogs out and then I've got some miles under my belt, if that's all that happens that day, I have to be like, that's fine. We got a few miles in. I'm really working on my strength and trying to not miss those. Those are like, just as runners, they like, the strength often goes, push it along a day. I see it in my client's plan. Oh, they moved it a day. Oh my God, they're doing 3 strengths in one day. Doing really strict to get my strength back. And it is amazing how like last week I did deadlift with just the hex bar.
Do you put it on blocks? Sorry to go kind of inside baseball.
Just from the floor because I like going from low, but that's because I'm comfortable doing that. And I think I've got the flexibility in that posterior chain. If you find it tricky or you find it's too much pressure on your back, SI joint, just put it up a bit higher. So I did no weight last week and that was relatively comfortable because you know I'm hench. And then pretty much back to body weight, being able to deadlift my body weight relatively. Had 6 reps down and I did 8 and I was like straight into my jumps off the, and I was like, don't lose it, you know, Eddie. You're a machine. I ticked off 2 strength. I did miss my strength on Sunday. I was blitz. But I've done my heavy strength. I always look at my Sunday strength as like for the body, for the bikini body. That's my 6-pack strength. It's never come out my 6-pack strength though. I've like always do it and that 6-pack stayed. Never had a 6-pack. And when I was like Ironman super fit, I look back at those Hawaii pictures and I think, God, I don't think I was very body happy, but I looked incredible then. So disappointed now. I did manage a couple of sessions. I did 3 by 10 minutes at 5%. I think you inspired that because you'd done a like horrible one of like
3 times 20. I think it was horrendous.
So on my notes say posterior chain a bit sore. So yeah, I was a bit sore from doing those big deadlifts, but I felt best on the last one, which is often the case on those like dreaded longer reps. The middle one, you feel terrible and they seem to be drag. They're mentally harder than they are physically, I think. but I felt quite pingy on the last one, so I was pleased about that. And then the rest of the week was really just dry. So I had a 4-hour run in my plan. Oh, how we laughed. But I just couldn't. So I had images. We're needing to test this, we are hoping to find the time for me to test this backpack out. But it got to Friday and I needed to work. And so that had to take priority. And so I ended up with quite a low mileage, but I climbed almost 9,000 feet pretty much all on my treadmill.
Brilliant.
So I'm doing a lot of uphill running. I think I talked about this last week in the afternoon. It's almost like a form of cross training because I get the heart rate up quite high, but I'm not breathing too heavy and I can come off it. I feel strong rather than like a broken shell. And I can do like little mini sessions, like when you were doing the stepper, I can like mix it up and put the heart rate up. But the overall scheme of the thing, it feels more like doing a bike and that I come off and I don't feel trashed. So I'm going to just keep those in for the next 2 weeks as well. And I think it really helps the body. I don't feel as stiff and I don't feel like the knees. Sometimes they've been my weakness over this year, I would say. Bit of knee pain and that is kind of all gone. And I'm sure that's because I'm doing that second run uphill. It means, and this would trigger you, Gary, there's a lot less miles. My run distance was.
But then I just reframe it and look at the time duration for the week.
Yeah, time wasn't great either. There's nowhere. But it is what it is. And sometimes in these weeks when the family and life and work has to take a priority and I still get upset about it, then you talk to people like we talked to Dave and you're like, actually, he would probably be well chuffed with that week. And it doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. And I'm so far off going to do a race that actually just a little bit of consistency and working on my strength is probably what I need to do. And it's what I would tell other people to do now. So
Give yourself some grace, Eddie.
Yeah, cut yourself some slack. We did find time to watch Thursday Murder Club. I guess you guys haven't watched it.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
It was a thumb hovering. I would almost give it a thumbs down.
Ooh,
I would give it a medium thumb because of the actresses. The actors I thought were terrible. Pierce Brosnan.
What channel? Is it streaming like a Netflix or?
Yeah, it's on Netflix, but it should be on ITV2, basically. It looks like, I'm sorry, because I feel mean saying about it, but it was just not good. And it wasn't true to the book.
Do you think Netflix, then they just buy in Pierce Brosnan for 3 years? Because I'm sure he did that, oh, goodness me, with...
Do you sign a Netflix contract rather than like haven't Meghan and Harry signed like a
Mobland.
Netflix? Oh, it was Mobland. That's what Bryn was talking about, going, he was horrendous in that too. Now you're making me watch another thing.
Pace is going to be listening to this and upset because we're slagging him off.
I know, because he's one of our celebrity runner listeners as well,
doing his
isn't
5k in the morning. But I wonder if Netflix have said he's like 10 million quid, you're going to work for us, like a studio actor for 5 years or whatever. Because they seem the same actors keep cropping up. You
don't listen to the rest of this entertainment, but it's very interesting listening if you do as to why Richard Osman, who wrote the book, sold it to Netflix and not to the cinema. And how much money do you reckon?
Oh, goodness me.
Something like that.
It's 30 million.
60 million God. To make it. Wow. I'd like to see their account spreadsheets, Gary, what that looks like. Yeah, so unusual for me to watch a whole film, and I was so excited about it, and then I didn't even watch the whole thing. We stopped it, and then I finished it off by myself because not even the kids wanted to finish watching it. There wasn't enough blood or guts. We need to get them away from Friends, which just seems to be what's on all the time now because we need a new family.
Still enjoying the 007, win a million
I suggested that. Evie went for it. She watched a little bit. Boys were like, what's happening? I think
second series better than the first series.
Is it? I think it required a little bit of concentration, and that at the end of school is lacking. So it was a fine week, nothing to write home about. I'm proud. What bits am I proud of? A bit of the strength and just being doggedness of fitting and going, right, I can do half an hour. Because sometimes you think there's no point. You get to I've only got half an hour. I won't bother. Yeah. But I was like, no, it's another half an hour and it all counts. Even if that race isn't till Northern Traverse till March, making that count in your head is quite hard sometimes. This will still count in, where are we, September? It does all count. Just keep doing it. Just keep showing up. So it was one of those weeks.
It's a little bit of mortar in between the bricks.
I love it.
thanks Precision Fuel and Hydration for supporting Brew the Coaches. Their website and newsletter are such good source of knowledge, articles to read and YouTube content to binge on too. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultramarathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. Precision Fuel and Hydration helps athletes personalize their hydration and fuel strategies so they can perform at their best. They will help you know your numbers too. They have a handy free online sweat test and nutrition planner. So head over to www.precisionhydration.com and don't forget Patreons get a whopping 20% off, and all you lucky listeners can enjoy 15% off your first purchase with the code TEATIME, all caps, that is TEATIME 2025. I thought it was really interesting because Precision obviously had a big presence over at UTMB with athletes doing varying races, and they would share their nutrition scorecard. It's like kind of top trumps of nutrition. So you could really get a feel for the carbs, the fluid and the sodium, the kind of intake that their athletes were taking on. And I just found it really fascinating. And this is why it shows that one size doesn't fit all, because it was so varied between athlete. And I think when it's backed up with knowledge, I think that's super important.
Really enjoyed this week's question from Gabby on to whether she should become a coach and what that pathway should look like. Dear team, I love it. This is the team. Dear team at Tea and Trails Towers, please forgive an enthusiastic patron an unorthodox question. I wasn't sure if this was one for Brew with the Coaches, but basically it's a plea for a reading list and some guidance on becoming qualified as potentially a coach. Oh, you come to the right place for a reading list. Russell will just take a picture of his bookcase for you. I am the one in the running club who's probably behind everything that is mad. I'm the one who started up a designated trail running group. I am the one who considers a weekend going feral and ending up sleeping in a bivvy bag under a bush on the Pennine Way. I'm also the one in the club who gets all the questions. Gabby, you sound like fun times. I love this. In real life, I'm an academic. Oh, that's where it all goes wrong. We couldn't be friends, Gabby. So we thrive on questions, and we'll read everything I can to lay my hands on. I hate not knowing an answer. I'll go and find it out. I've completed my LIRF, which is like your leader in run fitness, isn't it? That you do if you want to help running sessions for your running club. I have from work and my involvement with races and pacing qualifications as a mental health first aider. So I have a few things in my wheelhouse already, but I'm now trying to work out what kind of portfolio of qualifications would stand me in good stead. Where do I start? UKEA offer a coaching qualification. They also offer an off-road LIRF, and I can see first aid qualifications. Questions I get all the time do suggest I need to skill up with regards to good principles and understanding of nutrition and anything to help with my age. As an academic with access to young ones, I also find students gravitate towards my trail sessions. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this. I've refused to coach people as I'm not qualified, but it's planted the seed that maybe I should learn. I love teaching. It's my job after all. I love running. And the one thing I know I'm good at is helping people to finish. You learn these skills if you are the running equivalent of a Fiat Panda. Underpowered, chassis not streamlined, but its engine starts every time. Not fancy enough to have an expensive electrical failure, so running repairs happen. Fuel consumption is good, and the little Fiat Panda will get there, and will get there in one piece mostly. Oh, Gabby, you sound like a legend. Sign you up.
Yeah.
Russell was the one, Gabby, by the way, who picked this out and said, I need to chat to Gabby.
Well, my then girlfriend's now wife, she started out her driving life with a Fiat Panda, and I just remember visions of her driving around in that Fiat Panda being so cool, and I just oh my god, how do I get to know that girl? So instantly I like you, Gabby. She wasn't interested for like 7 years, so
wow.
Like a love-hate relationship with Fiat Pandas. I love the whole sound of your question. It sounds like you're a really enigmatic character, and people just want to be around you and come and ask you questions and run with you. And I think that is quite often how we start out as coaches. Like, I'm sure Eddie and Trish would be the same. Like, people just want to hang out with you because you're optimistic and fun.
Awesome.
And question, you just want to find the answer because you're passionate and curious about it. And they are all like the most important traits before anything in terms of being a coach. Just liking people, liking finding out answers, liking helping people. So I think you should definitely dive in. Like, you found your calling. One thing that I wanted to say before I forget is that 1 in 10 UK athletics coaches is female. So there's a real black hole there, and it's a real problem. And I often find that I don't know the answer, and I would love to hand that off to a woman coach, and there aren't any. Like, it's a real problem. So Definitely, there's a big requirement for more women coaches in the UK, especially. That's another reason on top of everything else. With the reading, I absolutely love it. If you go to World of Books, WOB, you can get books for like £2 and you can get amazing coaching books and you can just get a whole list and go through the history of running. So like back in the 1920s, it was chaos. There was like Igloy and intervals, everything was intervals. And then there was Lydiard, all mileage. And it was everywhere. And now over time, we've started to self-organize and we've started to, find a way through just crazy trying everything. So loads of books to recommend.
Is there one book or two books maybe, Russell, that you turn to?
Spouting off. Yeah, so I've got a few here. So I would get Running with Lydiard. Lydiard basically invented jogging. Running with Lydiard, yeah, he invented jogging basically. So he was a really seminal guy and he invented periodization pretty much. He was one of the first people you can track it back to. But Serity was very different, and he was all about running to feel, running out in the woods, running on beaches, running on hills, like doing everything really, really naturally and organically without a watch, without a heart rate monitor, and still having incredible success. So there are different ways, and you're going to find what works for you. And there are as many books as there are like hours in the day, so you're going to have loads to get through. But once you start reading a few, you'll hear names come up, and then you'll get going then. But my actual favorite, I've lent it out to one of my athletes, so I don't have it here, but it's Alex Hutchinson Endure, and it's about sports psychology. And that one, I come back to that all the time. So if you could get your hands on that one, it's really going to help with the sports psychology. You're right, having a working knowledge of nutrition is really important. There's loads of books there that you can read. My favorite one is Herman Ponzer Burn, but there's just so many. Rennie McGregor writes a few that are quite easy to digest and just give you a working knowledge of all the principles of carbs and proteins and fats and micro and macronutrients, and just stuff that, it just helps to know enough as a coach. I'll hand you over to Eddie and Trish, but keep going. It sounds like you're perfect for a successful, positive coach in people's lives.
Russell, would you ever take someone on as a sub coach and train? I was thinking, she could be.
Well, I mean, but in face to face, I think that would be.
Yeah, I know you like a face to face, but I was wondering when you were talking, I was wondering if Gabby, you might find someone with you need to find someone with a sort of similar coaching philosophy as you, that you could perhaps take on a couple of clients. And then if you're a little bit unsure, work with a coach that's got a bit more experience. I think that's a great way to learn. And I think a lot of coaches would be more than happy to help you and go, just run me past, tell me about this client. What are you thinking of doing? And then maybe, I do think that's one of the best ways to learn is through talking to other people and sharing. I know that we have a coaching WhatsApp group that sometimes is buzzing of sharing ideas or sharing good practice or good research papers. I think the qualifications, I've done that. I've done a few of those. I think it's important to have them for both insurance and for sort of just putting the time in, meeting other people. That is important. But then going your own path, studying what interests you. So I was really interested in the pre and postnatal side and the strength and conditioning side, filling in your own gaps of your knowledge. And there's heaps of different ways to do that as well, Gabby. And you sound like you're hungry for the knowledge as well. Trish, what was your little history with it? I don't actually know where your little history from run coaching is, and does it relate? You're very academic too, like Gabby, aren't you?
I love a good read. I probably started off quite similar to you, Gabby, in the sense that I didn't start off with the intention of coaching. It kind of came about, I would say, quite organically. I think 100%, I think it's super important for, regardless of where, how long you've been coaching or whatever, I think it's important to go through UK athletics. One, it gives a standard. And the standard is, it's a bit up in the air sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's a standard. And it's a set piece that everyone goes through. And I think that's really important from a formality perspective, but also just across the board. There's a lot of coaches out there who don't have any qualifications. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean they're bad coaches, but I do think it's important, like Eddie said, to have some quals behind you. In terms of the books, all the books that Russell said there are fantastic books. There's so many good books out there. I would always say, though, don't become set in terms of one piece of training or one coach. There's lots and lots of fantastic fantastic coaches out there who will do things differently. You talk about, not knowing the answers. No coach knows all the answers. There isn't a coach out there who knows all the answers. We're just using different theories, different methods, different ways of application to try and fit the athlete best. And that's what coaching is fundamentally, your ability to take an athlete and adapt a training method to fit what fits them best. That's what coaching is, essentially. So you need to have a wide range of tools. You need to have a wide range of things at your disposal in order to try and help that athlete. A lot of the time, coaching is just trying to problem solve. If you're willing, and you are willing, to try and continue to look for those answers, that's a fantastic skill to have as a coach, because you're always trying to improve. I would always say as well, like the vast majority of stuff I read now are new articles that come out in terms of research. That's constantly changing. There's heat training today, there's carb loading, there's so much stuff out there. It's your ability to take on this information but not be defined by that in your training. All of them are tools at the end of the day. Some work better for some than others. When you look at all this information, you need to be able to take some of it with a pinch of salt, and you need to be able to apply it correctly to the athlete. So it's not just about one methodology. It's about understanding why those coaches, why those people, why those books are about certain methodologies, and then being able to utilize that for your athlete.
It can feel quite overwhelming because there's so much information, and one person will say one thing. There's a very vocal coach at the moment on Instagram, and he'll say one thing, and another very vocal coach will say something completely different.
We all know who you mean.
Yeah. both their athletes, all their stable of athletes are high achieving athletes. They're both going to probably start on the start line in the same sort of physical shape. It's sort of proving the point of like, it's got to be dependable on the athlete. And so don't think by reading everything then you've got to apply that, because actually the most important part of coaching, Gabby, is that conversation and that feedback you get from the athlete. And it sounds like you're the one. You start trail running, so that's great, you're in the right place. But that sort of relationship with people, you can't teach that, and you can't get a qualification for that. And that ability to like read into the context of what people are saying, or what they're not saying, and you can pick that out. And you can really only get that from experience. And so you sort of have to throw yourself in the deep end. The way I started when I stopped teaching and I started doing my qualifications was that I did a lot of volunteering. I did volunteering at the club like you've been doing and I didn't get paid. So there was no money changing hands, and I just helped people. It takes the pressure off you. You feel like this is still a hobby. This is still a leisure. I can help. And you learn so much from just like the first time you get somebody from, doing a trail 10K or something, you learn that, and then the next person will be someone completely different. The next one, got to throw yourself into it, Gabby. Sounds like you're coming from exactly the right place. I really look forward to hearing about your journey. Rebecca, you're not a coach, but you're somebody that you work with a incredible coach. But anything that you think, I guess probably you're going to say, like coming from an academic background as well. Do you do a lot of reading about running and things like that? Or
I do try to, obviously for my job, but for myself as well. But I think what it is, you can sum it up as, yes, you can read all the research, you can be aligned with particular ideologies, but at the end of the day, you're treating human beings. It's very like in the medical world, you can know the science, but it's the application to humans as opposed to trying to apply something to a machine. We're not just engines, we're not just machines. You've got to apply to each individual human in their individual context. And I think that's the most important skill really as a coach. You need all that background, but it's the application of it, as you've all alluded to. That's the magic, it's the application to the individual.
You said that, so we've waffled on for like 15 minutes. Bex, do you feel like this is a lot of like when you first qualify as a doctor and you've got so much knowledge but no way to apply it? Does it ring a bit true like that?
Yeah, and I guess maybe for you guys it's the same, but the first time you apply that knowledge, you're absolutely like seating your pants, going, still needed to look stuff up, going, what's the dose of paracetamol again? We've all been there, like, on day one on the board. So learning by experience, there's lots of parallels to the medical world with what you guys do. You have to just apply. Every situation is different, so how you apply that knowledge is going to be different in each circumstance.
And it's fine to hold your hands up. We've all had doctor's appointment where the doctors have gone, I'm just going to just give me 5 minutes. I'm going to go and it's fine to go, right, well, let's have a look at this. Let's read into this. You go away. Like, you're not expected to be able to make somebody into a world champion in 6 weeks. So
there's only a certain amount of blagging you can get away with, or that you should try and get away with. You know, you do have to sometimes put your hand up and go, do you know what? That's a good question. I'm going to need to look up the answer to that. And that's absolutely fine. And again, people who can't do that, I would suggest are on the wrong path, really.
Yeah. Good luck, Gabby. You sound like you're going to be an incredible coach, and people would be lucky to work with you and count you as a friend as well. I'm happy to go bivvying on Pennine. Actually, no, I'm not. Why do I never go bivvying voluntarily on the Pennine Way?
Do you still have that Fiat Panda, Gabby?
Russell's pretty keen on a picture of the Fiat Panda, please.
Love that Fiat Panda.
Good luck, Gabby.
Thanks, Harry Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales from the Trail section. Harry is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproofs, poles and other trail essentials at www.harryrunfree.co.uk, where you can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. Use the code T10 for 10% off site-wide, or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. I nearly altered Tales from the Trails this week. I didn't want to read out this first one, but I had to stay faithful to the whale.
Exactly. We stay faithful, Gary. We've got to talk about life, and this is a tough one, but it might pick him up.
Yeah, hopefully. Sorry, Tom, if you're listening to this, but your name came out first. 67.6 miles for the week, 63.5 miles for the week, with a total elevation of 20,791 feet. Yeah, it was a UTMB DNF for Tom. His description is, "This one hurts. Not quite sure how to put this into words, but I withdrew from the Hawker UTMB Mont Blanc at 102k. A combination of a dodgy stomach rendering fuel and hydration useless, and a slightly pulled Achilles just after Refugee Bertoni. This game sucks. Thanks to my guardian angel, Amy Bendel, for being the best crew today and yesterday." Yeah, it does suck. Sorry, Tom, if I've picked away at that painful little scab that you've got currently.
Oh, did you need that analogy?
It does suck. It does suck. Hopefully, yeah, you'll dust yourself down. It's all very fresh and raw at the moment, Tom, but yeah, hopefully dust yourself down and go again. Next up is Henry Robert Shaw, 80.9 miles for the week. Longest run of 31.6 miles and total elevation of 6,292 feet. Henry is a request to follow, so we really don't know what he's been up to, but it could be the Dig Deep 30, it could be the Mendip Marauder, or Hip Hip Hooray, it's Hornsey, or maybe just a big day out on the trails with his
You're
mates.
wasted on this podcast, Gary. Have CIA never come knocking going, we could do with these investigatory skills?
I keep trying.
You seem to have a lot of time on your hands.
That's what I'm doing at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Last up on the Strava Club is Lindsay Collins. Wow, Lindsay has been on the podcast Run to the Hills. It could be like 4 years ago, Lindsay.
40 years ago, Lindsay was on the podcast.
61 miles for the week for Lindsay, and 43-mile longest run. I can't see a race that was 43 miles, so I really don't know what Lindsay's been up to. Maybe she was at the Punk Panther event, which was that kind of looped event, and you just did as much as you wanted. But yeah, either way, fantastic running, and 5,719 feet for the week. We don't need to talk about UTMB. We're going to keep it real. Hard Mowers Rosebery Top End Marathon. I'm such a sad case. I'm very competitive.
I do the same.
Surely it's not you. Oh, thank goodness for that.
I'd go back and be like, yeah, beaten them. Would have beaten them. Oh, they'd have thrashed me.
I went all the way back to 2017. I went all the way back to 2017. So anyway, the winner of the Hard Mowers Trail Marathon was Joe Walton with a time of 4 hours and 49 minutes. And Carolyn Offele was the winner of the ladies race, and that was 5 hours and 29. And yeah, I did the Rosebery Top End Marathon in 2017. So what's that? 8 years ago, if I could turn back time. 4 hours 53, so I would have been on the podium, and I'll be doing Rosebery Top End Marathon next year.
Different course, probably. It's a lot easier back then, 2017.
I wasn't even in the top 3 that year. So you never, whoever turns up on the year, every year is different. But that time would keep me competitive. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Do you think you should still do that now?
Well, part of me says I could go faster.
Going faster. I knew you'd say that.
Well, I've had a lot more trail miles in my legs compared to 2017 would have been, so 2016 was Hardmoor's 110. I think I probably hit the trails maybe like 2013. Whenever the Hardmoor's Trail Marathon series started, I think that coincided with my trail running journey. For the half marathon though, Paul Elwell took the win with a time of 2 hours and 40 minutes, and Jen Thompson took the win for the ladies, 2 hours and 26 minutes. And the 10K winners were Matthew Downs and Angela Gill. And also Punk Panther was going along this weekend. Cameron Pilling was the last person standing and wins the 2025 Panther Takes the Hindmost after finishing 4th in 2023. Yeah, it's great to come back and take the win, Cameron. I wonder if he was there in 2024 too. Anyway, congratulations, and congratulations to everybody this week. We don't have a birthday shout out, but we do have a heavy flex.
Well, are you reading it or am I? Am I allowed to speak?
I'll read this and you read Tales from the Trails. Back off, son.
Please, that's fine. I'm happy.
Heavy flex. Well, fresh from nearly crashing my car on the way home from the airport, and my children now being convinced I'm famous after hearing my name read out on my favourite podcast, I'd like to return the favour to the wonderful man that gave me the heavy flex. Stand forward, Stuart Secker. I met this guy when I completed my first 100-mile race in July. At around 80 odd miles, I spotted him eating something that looked good at a checkpoint. I asked him what it was, and he told me that it was a hot dog and where to get one inside. I then spent a few miles with him until the next checkpoint. I had the luck to meet Stuart when I had hit an all-time low in energy, foot and knee pain and motivation. This guy was a pleasure to talk to. After spotting my tea and trail buff and asking me if this was my first 100-mile race, and I returned the question, and he told me that no, this was his 23rd, plus he had DNF'd 19-2. Wow. It then turned out that Stuart had prostate cancer surgery in January this year too. My goodness, Stuart. What a man, what a legend. There's also the small matter of completing the Western States and the spine race. Stuart, thank you for not only being the motivation, the company, and the fascinating conversation, but also helping me through Barry Island and beyond and making me realise that I could complete that 100 miles. You gave me a second wind and belief that you can achieve pretty much anything if you put your mind to it. What you have achieved is amazing. You're humble but brilliant, and I really hope our paths cross again. Naomi Lunn. Stuart is a trail angel. What a guy. There's a PS also. PS, thanks for the best ever show, guys. I'm 100% of the time a single mum, work full time, have 2 dogs, and just going through a divorce and a house move. Oh, that's all the plates. My goodness, that is all the plates you're spinning.
I wish I could come and unpack your dishwasher for you a couple of times.
To say I have to squeeze in training is a bit of an understatement, but the thought of listening to you guys and how you balance life, family and running is such a motivation to me, and I look forward to listening to you both all week long. Naomi, I've got it easy. You are the motivation and the inspiration. A few saved episodes helped me through the night of the first ever 100-mile race completion. While the storms raged and the rain soaked me for the millionth time, I was happy trotting along, listening to you with not a care in the world. Big love to you both. Kiss, kiss. Oh, big love to you, Naomi. What a heavy flex. Thanks for that. If you have a mate who's flexed or orbited the sun one more time, then email hello@tntrails.com. You need to pop heavy flex or birthday shout out as the subject, or we might miss it. Tales from the Trails.
Hi, Eddie and Gary. Hi. Long-time listener, first-time emailer. That's the way. I love these ones. I just finished Race Across Scotland episode, and although I never normally write in, I just had to this time. I listen all the time and follow all the socials, but today I just wanted to say how amazing you are, Eddie. And you too, Gary. That's in brackets. I don't know if you realise how many lives you touch with your stories. You're never anything but inspiration. Gary, I've not read this properly. You should be reading this. This feels like a like a little
love bomb
to myself. But anyway, I think I deserve it. We celebrate with you when it all clicks, and we cry with you when things don't go to plan. Always in your corner. If running has taught me one thing, it's that life has a funny way of putting us where we need to be. Too right. Learn that this week. With the people we need to be with, learning the things we're meant to learn. It might not have been your day in terms of the race, Eddie, but the courage, honesty, and sheer bloody steel you showed, not just out there, but in sharing your story so openly with all of us, only reinforces what we already know. You're a total legend. This is making me feel so much better. Thank you for everything you give us, runners of all abilities and ambitions. I know how much work goes on behind the scenes to get these episodes out, and I'm not alone when I say how grateful we all are. Tea and Trails is more than a podcast for many of us. It feels like being part of a family with ultimate kudos. That should be a new section of the podcast. Ultimate kudos. Thank you so much for the message.
Thanks, Harry. Thank you, Proing Rebel, for bringing us home. Gentle on your stomach, driving your performance. Whether you're trying to get a PB or training for your first marathon or completing your 10th Ultra, Proing Rebel's products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits. Use the code T15 for 15% off your first order over at www.proteinrebel.com, and patrons can enjoy 15% off every order. You need to pop over to Patreon for that discount. We've got another listener question. I love these listener questions. We do need more listener questions.
You love them. I think this is you perk up. What can I make Eddie talk about now?
Please keep them coming in. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com. Hi guys. Quick question for you both. At what point do you decide to put a rain jacket on? Thanks, Pat. There's two situations where I will have a race jacket on. One is training and one is during a race. If it's during a race, I'm guilty. I can't be asked. It will always be too late. If it's training, I'm pretty good. Saturday was a great example. We're going up Clough Head, a little bit of drizzle, put it on straight away. All the clouds went. I just left it on after that, to be honest. I'm not one of these people who would take that off, maybe then put my wind stopper on if it was too windy. I just left it on. But yeah, training, rain jacket on, comes on pretty quick. Races, yeah, probably takes somebody else to tell me to put a rain jacket on.
Gary, I think this is where experience comes into it as well, because I run hot as well. So putting my rain jacket on is like, the temperature has to be I'm quite happy to be a little bit damp if it's sprinkling, and being in Scotland as well, it sprinkles most of the time. If it's sprinkling and it's warm, I won't bother putting a rain jacket on. I remember when I was running Race Across Scotland with quite a few of the guys, and it would like rain, but you just knew that it was going to be like, we were low, we weren't going up high, we were running, and I just knew within 5 minutes it was going to stop, and they stopped to put the jackets on, and I was like, I really wouldn't bother, it's going to stop in 5 minutes. But they stopped, and then they ran on, and then, they caught up, and then they were like, oh, so hot, I gotta take my jacket off. Should have listened to Eddie. And I was like, I'd never listen to anybody else. Firstly, if you think I should put my rain jacket on, you probably should put your rain jacket on. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. If I'm racing, this is when I do really well here, because I really do look after myself. And if I need to I would stop, put my jacket on, put more waterproof trousers.
I'm the opposite. If I'm racing, I'm the complete opposite.
You're going to look after yourself on these super, super long races.
Yeah.
So, but just like you, if I was training, I put it on, then probably wouldn't bother, because also when you're training, your intensity is so much lower, so you can just be like, I'm just gonna.
It does depend seasonally. Tour de Helvellyn last year, 2024, that was a filthy day, and I had my waterproof jacket on for pretty much all of it, and then I even put my waterproof trousers on, and my mood just transformed from being this shivering wreck.
Funnily enough, Ruth Croft, she put full waterproofs and ski gloves on to go up Col Ferret, and Courtney was in shorts. And they talk a lot, and Tom talked a lot about that, like the decision to keep. He said he took his jacket on and off over 20 times in UTMB, and he was like, I'm wasting time. But he was the one that came through the night in the better shape. So I don't think kit faff is ever wasting time, even if it means you have to take stuff on and off.
It's a luxury, and I don't have this option, but if I could afford like a large jacket, just to have it basically during the summer, hanging on a hook. But come the winter...
Hanging on a hook.
Well, come the winter...
You can just put over the top.
Up over top of your vest too, the whole shebang's covered. But then I've got this extra large jacket that I never ever use. But that would be gold standard, because you're taking your vest off, putting your jacket on, putting your vest on.
I think though it doesn't fit properly if you've got a jacket, a waterproof that's too big for you. The sleeves and the neck are going to be too big, so you're going to get water inside it, so you're going to wet out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think that. I saw people like CCC with like their jacket over the top of them and like it not done up or not done up properly. And I'm like,
some jackets, I don't know what the brands are, but they have like a parachute in the back, so they would go over a race vest.
Yeah, there are some like that. I didn't see a ton of them. So yeah, always put it on. If in doubt, put it on. You can always take it off again. Right, what's happening, Gary? We've got how many weeks to go? You told me at the beginning and I've already forgotten.
Three. Well, it's not quite 3 weeks. Now we are Tuesday. I've already lifted heavy this week. Good start of the week.
Me too. What set? What are we looking like?
Oh, well, I didn't do my deadlifts. What did I do?
Why did you not do deadlifts?
I don't like doing deadlifts. I don't know why.
Because it hurts, or?
I just don't like the mechanics of it. Nobody else uses the trap bar in the gym apart from me, and it's squirreled away in this corner behind the big squat rack, and it's just, I nearly swore again, sorry. Faff on. It's just a faff on. So I don't do it. Do you ever get this? One day where it was just a no alarm clock day and you could get up at 8 o'clock. Preferably somebody would greet you with a cup of tea and some toast.
Oh, stop it. This is my ultimate dream. And we won't have this because we have something on every single day.
I should get up at 5:30, but I just can't do it.
It's just hard, isn't it? And I don't think that's helping me at the moment, an early get up like that.
But yeah, if I do not get up at 6, by the time I've walked the dog, run to the gym, done the weights, like literally even what I did on Monday, I thought I was being pretty efficient. I don't think I got home until about 10 o'clock. And that feels like I'm eating into the working day. I felt really guilty.
Oh, well, I've sent you numerous emails, haven't I? Come on, Gary. Come on, why have we not started?
I think I'm finding the groove with the Alban app, that whole running impact. I've not entered the Lakeland 100 ballots. Have you entered the Lakeland 100 ballot or the Lakeland 50 ballot?
No other plans.
And on Friday, I'm off to Newcastle, out. Myself and Robbo, we're going to go and see A Life in Tandem, Luke Grenfell Shaw.
Is this the one where you planned the DM boots and skinny jeans?
Skinny jeans, double denim. Got a Ben Sherman shirt.
Ben Sherman shirt with like a white t-shirt underneath. Perfect.
No.
Sweat catcher.
I do the buttons right up to the top. I look like I've got a skinhead. Oh my goodness me, it's not a good look at all, is it? Dr. Martin boots, skin tight jeans. Should I ask him about the CCC or should I think of another question for him?
I think he might be done with the CCC. I think you could ask him another question. What's one of our classics? What's one of our go-to quick five easy
What's your favourite
ones?
biscuit? Instagram. I should ask him his Instagram story music.
Let's ask him his favourite biscuit to dunk. I'm not
He
sure
will
he's
never
a
have
biscuit.
been asked that question.
I'm not sure that he is a biscuit eater because he's talked a lot about like pastries and stuff he's had, and he's kind of that class, and he'd be like, "Hey, do you want to have a biscuit? You do mean a small sandwich that I have at tea?"
I'm looking forward to it though. Can't wait.
I bet it's good, and I've not seen it. I don't think it's sort of out as public viewing, the film on YouTube, is it?
No. I wonder how tall he is. He's a really true. This is the kind of level of my question. He might be like 6'5". I don't got no idea.
Yeah, we've only ever seen him on screen. So,
I can touch him. I can touch him, Eddie.
Oh, hands on the ball, Gary. Hands on the ball. I haven't got anything nearly as exciting coming up.
Today, George's first day back at college. Esme's in Edinburgh. Lisa and I went for a little spot of lunch together.
Having that time to breathe and be together, you almost don't know what to do with yourselves because you're like, this is what it was like. And what we're a big, like we've had a whole life in between us. Hi, nice to meet you.
And then we capped the afternoon off with taking the car through the car wash. Incredible.
Oh, I would love
a hand
that.
car wash. It was great.
That is even better because you know that it's going to be...
You opened the doors and you cleaned the rims inside. Very diligent.
Nothing like cleaning your rims.
Oh, Eddie, straight away.
Sparkling. So that's a big thing. That's my biggest life event of happening running wise. I'm going to repeat the same and need to get a bit longer running, but we're just going to see how the week pans out. It's been a bit of a slow start. Again, that seems to be the story of my life. And maybe I need to wrestle back a bit of time now all the sport has started. I just need to be more organized, but I also need to be a bit more like Dave and know that things aren't going to go 100% according to plan. And being happy with that, it doesn't make you any less of an athlete. It doesn't make your training not stand up because you haven't done it exactly how it says it should be done on the tin or how people, winning UTMB do it. We're not those people. Our lives are different and that's okay. Still trying our best. Anyway, Thanks for tuning in. We love you. Thanks for listening. Share the episode, share the pod, share the love. If you're a celebrity, jump into our DMs. Who are you? What you're famous for? Pop over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or subscribe, or even consider becoming one of our incredible patrons, especially as the autumn is closing in and your little ears are cold. You might be in the market for a bubble hat. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running, and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. Remember, all our discount codes: T10 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, T-Time 2025 for Precision Fuel Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thanks to our partners, Patreons. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
Good luck to everybody out on the trails, racing, training, recce's, solo miles, or miles with mates. This goes out on Friday. So, yeah, runners will be still deep in the trenches for the Dragon's Back race. Yeah, good luck to you if you're still crushing it. If you drop down to the hatchling, whatever you're doing, yeah, as you shuffle and make your way to Cardiff.
Did you see the weather yesterday? Oh my God, Gary, you'd have stopped. You wouldn't have made it. I
wouldn't have put my jacket on. I saw the water coming off the trails. Wow, yeah.
No, Hoka Cliftons, they'd have been a disaster.
And the attrition, then that is because if you're wet, we didn't have that. People did have blisters.
You're not going to drink. Yeah, the blisters. Wow, they've got it tough.
The attrition. It's going to be like 11 out of 10. And then
kit from day one, and it's just never going to dry. Oh, guys, you're doing amazing. Amazing.
Completely different experience. And then, if you're chasing cut-offs, you physically, your admin, everything is drenched. Oh, my goodness me.
Can you imagine the inside of the blue tents, Gary?
It's going to be a special kind of smell. And good luck, I mentioned it earlier, but good luck to everybody who's thrown the name in for the Lakeland 50 or the Lakeland 100 ballot. I know there is more people want to do it than there is places available, so there's going to be some disappointed people when the results come out. Let the trail rise to meet you and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self, breathe and believe. Roll with the joy and the miles will look after themselves. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was the Tea and Trails podcast.